Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Pro Trading Club. As you all know, every week we have this meeting. Here we are actually discussing about a lot of things. One is about the my view on the market for the next week, and my view on some of the multi-bagger stocks and some swing trade ideas. See, currently what is happening in the market is I think till this March, the till the Fed is going to increase the rate hike and how is the commentary which is going to come. Till then, I think market is going to be very volatile. Probably after that, it may come down further. Also, we have to see how far it is going to come. Now, what is happening in specifically the US market, because that is the central hub. And see, currently, whatever corrections you are seeing in the Indian markets is not that deep compared to what is happening in the US and the European markets. And the global markets are putting the pressure on the Indian markets also. It is a very natural thing. So there's nothing specific to India as such which is causing any kind of sell-off. So there is a lot of concerns which are there, and the major concern is this Fed rate hike and what is the impact it is going to create. Because see, if you look at the US market, what has happened is Nasdaq and the small cap indices, which is the Russells, both of them are completely in a bear market. And even the other things are almost in the bear market. But if you look at the overall comparison, the IT stocks and the pharma stocks, which are crux of this Nasdaq, which generally is the forerunner most of the time, that is completely down and that is dragging the markets. There are a lot of issues which are happening, and I'll actually explain you one by one why and why I'm expecting this is going to continue for quite some time, and I don't think it is going to end very soon. Okay, so currently market is going to be very stock specific, and I would suggest you to wait for a dip. You will get a good dip, then only you can look at buying any. If you are looking at anything substantial investments and all, wait for a very good dip which is going to come in very soon in the market. See, last time I had told you this is my view, which is between 17,000 to 17,500. It did not go down. Instead, it went up. I told you that budget is there, so market can be volatile. And if you see exactly at 17,800, it has taken a U-turn. So, see, I feel that the market is not stable and it is going to continue to do that. If you see the intensity of, if you look at this intensity of buying, which actually happened, this was quite good. But now the second thing is actually got still more narrow. So there is a much bigger downside. I think this also will get broken. There could be a much bigger sell-off which can happen in the market in the coming days. So be very careful. What are the factors which are going to affect? I'll tell you. One of the major factors which is going to affect us is this. Look at what is happening in the crude oil. Crude oil is moving towards the $100 barrel, $100 per barrel, which is huge. Now, this is going to create a panic across the world. It is not only for the Indian market, across the world, this is going to create a lot of panic in the market. So this is not good, especially since our country is export dependent, especially on the crude oil. This is one of the biggest export bill we actually get. So the current account deficit, whatever is happening, is mainly because of that. The imports on this crude oil is huge, extremely huge. So this is something which is going to be one of the major factor. Second major factor is this. If you remember, this has been causing a lot of challenge earlier also. Now US, I think this is not the one. 1 second. this one. See the bond yield. Now understand this. See, if I have to look at the interest rates which are there, if it is going to get high, the bond rates are going to also increase. So that means uh, when the liquidity is getting tightened, there is a lot of money which can be made in the bond. See, this is more safer kind of thing. So a lot of money will start drifting from equity towards this. So which is very important. And earlier also, if you have seen, especially last year in the month of February, March, because of the bond yield increasing, we had seen a lot of sell-off. That's going to happen. And there is a lot of challenges which are happening currently, which can track the market. One of them is this Omicron. There is another variant, sub-variant, which they are talking about, which probably is going to be much more contagious. That is something which is still a concern. And one of the things which we are clearly seeing is, especially in the UK, it has again shot up. UK, in fact, the number of cases is not coming down. So currently, it's not the case with India or the other places, but it is still a concern. And that is going to actually again put pressure on the global markets. So this is very important. What is happening? There are a lot of issues which are actually getting creeped up. You might have heard about the Russia crisis which is happening. So US and Russia is going to actually have all these challenges, which is also going to be one of the major challenge. So all this news will play a major role over a period of time. See, overnight it will not actually change, but over a period of time, things are going to get ugly very soon. So all these things will play a major role. Major factor is the rate hike. And if you look at in UK, there are other factors which are happening. Already two times the monetary will come. So like we have RBI, they have the Bank of England, which actually decides on the rate hike. They have done already two hikes. Second consecutive hike has happened recently. So that is not going to be taken good by the market. Market is going to take some time to digest this. And on top of that, in US, what is happening is the growth is increasing a lot. So there is a lot of speculation that instead of 25 basis points, they may hike it by 50 basis points. So they are going to hike the rates much faster is what is the expectation. So that is going to be another bigger concern. Overall, market knows that the rate hike is going to come. So whoever have a short-term fund, whoever doesn't want to actually get into this, I think if you have seen, the FIs have been continuously selling, and that selling is probably going to still more continue. So that is something which is going to play a major role. So currently, if I have to look at I'll just show you the US markets. If you see, it's so bearish in the nature. Look at this. See, index wise, if you actually have to see what is happening, is it is in this range only. It is not actually changing. This is the Dow Jones. Okay, I'll show you in the S&P as well as in the Nasdaq also. It is actually in the range. But what is happening is individual stocks have actually come down drastically. See, especially right now, what is happening is it is going into, see, small caps have been beaten off, mid caps have been beaten off. Now they are actually targeting the large caps. So large caps has started off with Facebook. I think it is going to boil down to other things also very soon. So there is going to be a lot of panic which is going to get created. See, it is not going to be a COVID kind of a crash, but there is going to be a significant correction which is going to come in the market. So that is something which is going to happen in the coming days. So be very careful on this. Long positions are going to be very difficult. So currently, I would not suggest you to do any long trades. It's going to be very risky. Look at this. This is S&P. Even S&P is not able to stable. It is trying it hard, but it is not able to become stable. So there will be a lot of, see, it is not that it is going to fall off easily. It all depends on a lot of factors, but there could be quite a big fall, and it will be led mainly by Nasdaq. Nasdaq is going to be one of the major factors which is going to lead this whole thing. See, if now they are going to hold on to this, we have to see. See, currently at this juncture, it is something like a make or break, but more likely it is showing a lot of negative things. So probably it will be more sideways zone. It is not that it is going to come down drastically also. It may be actually going to get into a stagnation kind of a mode. So panic is going to slowly come into the market, but overall, at this point of time, even if the market moves higher, it is difficult for it to sustain. So there is a lot of challenges which we are seeing, especially in the global market. So we have to see how far they are going to sustain this. Look at this. This is a small cap index which has fallen off like crazily. So there is a lot of panic, and this panic can actually creep in. Will they actually try to take this as an advantage? We need to see. But overall, we see a lot of panic. This is what is the US market. So this is actually, sorry, this is the European market. This is mainly where we are very nearby to this support. If this breaks, I think there will be a much bigger sell-off, which will happen in the US market. This is mainly the Germany, and Germany is generally always seen, especially when we are looking at the European markets. So sell-off pressure is quite higher, and so I'm not expecting any extraordinary movement, but I feel market may be quite. See, this week we have the monetary policy meeting also, which is going to happen. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, there is RBI, which is actually going to meet. So market is going to be quite volatile this week also. So we need to be careful. Currently, until unless we don't go above this 17,600 and sustain this, see, this particular place, whatever you have seen, this big sell-off, what we have seen, it is a place where there has been a lot of selling which has happened in the market. There's a huge amount of selling which has happened in the market. So this is a place which is of concern. So this, I feel market probably may get into a range this week, and slowly there could be some sell-off which can happen also. So, but we have to be careful, or there could be some short covering which can actually happen in the market. All depends on what happens in the RBI. Until unless, see, if there is anything where they talk about the inflation and they talk about anything related to GDP, if there is anything which is going to be more hawkish kind of thing, that means they're going to take a tough stand. If they're actually coming out with any such thing, that is going to be taken quite negative by the market. So currently market may try to be a little sideways, but it may try to drag the market. So currently market, especially in the last 2-3 days, what is happening is it is getting into a very, very tight range. So be very, very careful. So it may try to trap people into getting into a buying mode, and later the market can come down. So see, buying is definitely to be avoided, and selling also you need to have, see, until unless market is not going to break this level of yesterday, see, 17,400 level probably will be acting as a good support currently. It may try its best to try to hold this, and the biggest support will come at this place. This place is going to be a big support between 17,200 to 300. That is going to act as a very strong support. Until it is not going to be broken, I don't see any big sell-off when it's going to happen. So we need to get breaking below that. So according to what I see for this week, market may be more in the range. I am still bearish on the market. probably 17,200 to 17,000. I think very unlikely that it will go beyond this, but let me actually put this 17,200 to 600. I am expecting market to be more narrow range. And if we break this 17,200, see 200 to 300 is a very important support area. So that is a place where market can bounce back also. If we break this, then we can go towards the 17,000 or probably towards the 17,600. Sorry, if we are breaking the 17,600, we can probably move towards 17,700 or 17,800. You may retest that. So 17,700 to 17,800 looks unlikely, but anything is possible in the market. And if we break this, then there is all the possibility it will go towards 17,700 and 17,800. And if this breaks, actually, there could be a big sell-off. But I think market is not going to do all these things easily until unless there is some extraordinary selling pressure which is going to come. So we have to see how things are happening. Globally, if there is a big sell-off, see currently US market is at an important support area. It is trying to take some support. If it takes support, great. If it cannot take support, that is going to be one of the trigger. And the European market currently is in a big sell-off. So there actually, even the COVID things are still rising. It is having the fourth wave, fifth wave, everything is coming, and rate hike has been happening, which is not actually good from the markets. Inflation has been soaring up like anything. There we have not seen that big growth, the change in the economy also we have not seen so much. So all those things are going to be a lot of challenges. US market, the growth has been good. Labor market, the amount of new jobs which are created, everything is looking good. So which is giving more comfort, especially for the Fed to start actually getting the rate hike. So from that perspective, US market is something which will have to guide us. So let's see how things work. So there's definitely a lot of news which are not really good for the market. So a lot of news are not good for the market, and the data currently is not good for the market. And whatever we are seeing on the charts is also not looking good. So either market will get into a sideways zone, or there could be a big sell-off also which will happen. Will it happen this week or the coming week? We need to see. I feel this week probably it will get into a sideways zone and irritate us. That is what has been happening in the last 2 days. It has been irritating in the range, and I think this can continue for some more time, because I am seeing that all this before the sell-off, they're trying to ensure that they pass on hands. See, what is happening is all the strong hands, whoever wants to move out, they're trying to do all kinds of distribution. So this sell-off will not happen easily. So it will actually, they will put it in a range and they will start actually getting into slowly, they will actually selling off. So a lot of sell-offs are happening. It's happening across the board, even in the large cap companies, it has been happening. And that is going to continue. So be very, very careful currently on any of the positions. Don't try to taking any positions is going to be a little risky. If you are to take any short positions also, it has to be only when there is a rally which happens. There you get an opportunity to short. Otherwise, you will get stuck in a range. Be very careful. No easy money in the market currently. So whether for the trading purpose or for investment purpose, I would suggest you to wait. I think there will be a good sizable fall which will happen in the market. I'll try to show you something. See, currently this, until unless we are not able to break this, there is a formation which is happening, which is not good. This is a clear-cut distribution pattern. This is a head and shoulder which is getting formed. It is not completely formed. If it forms and if it breaches, there is a much bigger selling which can happen in the market. So be very, very careful currently until we don't go beyond this. Absolutely, market is in completely sell-on rallies. And if this has to get negated, it has to go beyond this. Okay. So for this to happen, I am not seeing things are very conducive. Unlikely that this is going to happen. See, Nifty is quite weak. Bank Nifty relatively is a little stronger. But for Bank Nifty also, if you see this big sell off, whatever had happened, it was this resistance area. We are just at that place. We're just at that place. If we can hold this and move up, there is a possibility. But if we break this, then there is a big sell-off because this is a resistance which had actually taken the market down. Now, if we break this again, it will try to break this support. Very likely that it's going to break this support. Okay. So currently we are trading above the resistance. But according to me, this was more of a false breakout according to what I see. So if it is a false breakout, then once it falls from here, there will be a good amount of sell-off which is going to happen. So overall market is not looking that great. Only thing which is looking better is the banking index. And if this banking index also falls, because see, it's pharma is looking a little better. Even the IT stocks are not looking good. Generally, what happens is IT and banking work opposite. So when IT is up, generally banking is down. Now, actually, if you see banking has been doing good, IT has been doing bad. Now, if both of them are going to do bad, that's probably something which I'm expecting because every sector is going to be beaten off, and that is where after creating a huge amount of panic, then the market will start actually getting into any kind of a big buying because that is something, it is a structure, that is how market keeps doing it. And that's what we are seeing currently in the market. So there's no easy money in the market, guys. Don't try to do anything aggressively. Try to do anything in a smaller pace. If you want to do any kind of a trade, whether it is buying or selling, do with smaller things. Once things actually go see, if it gets into a sideways mode, it becomes difficult for us to trade. But if that breaks, then things will be better off. Here you need to observe this. If it starts going beyond 20, I think there is a big movement which is going to happen in the India VIX. 2021, it has to go beyond that. So when it goes beyond 2021, I think there's a big movement which is going to happen on the selling side. According to me, this can shoot up beyond the 24. 24 was the recent thing which had happened. I think it's going to break that and move much further, which would create a lot of panic in the market. So panic can get created in the market. So from that perspective, you should look at selling opportunity. So from here, what we are seeing is the bearish opportunity, what we are looking at. Here, this probably could be a little better. Here, 37,500 is very important. And according to what I see, 38,000, so 39,000 is what I'm expecting. See, until we don't go beyond this, things may not actually make any big difference. See, as long as we are holding 39,000, there is a possibility to go to 39,500. 40,000 is going to be a psychological resistance, as well as there is a Fibonacci technical resistance also. So be careful on this. Currently, the structure shows that it is very likely to fall. But the volumes are very, very thin. That is what is actually a big challenge currently. Now, if we break currently 37,500, that is where you can move towards this 36,500 or 36,000. This is something which can happen in the market. So market is looking quite sideways this week, according to me, sideways to negative. Negative is the main thing, but I feel market may not actually fall easily also, because that's what is happening. It is not allowing the market to fall down easily. And recently there was a lot of buying which had happened. So because of this buying, so what happens is because of this big buying which actually came in, budget was also good and it had no negative surprises at all, which looks good. See, budget overall is good. See, as I told you, the whole thing is not because of the Indian market situation. It is mainly because of the global. Everything is going to depend on what happens in the global markets. So either it will be sideways, or if the global markets are going to fall down, then we will also see a big sell-off, which is going to happen in the market. So currently, Bank Nifty is going to, if I have to see, it is at a make or break kind of a situation. As long as it is below 38,800, more likely it will be on the downside only. If it can move beyond 39,000, there is some scope. But the option, if I have to look at the option chain and all, if it is actually still favoring the bearishness only, not seeing any bullish signs right now. So either it will be sideways or on the negative side. So that is what is my view on the market for next week. So since my view on the market currently is more on a negative, I'm not suggesting you any buy ideas on any swing trade because that is not going to really help you. That may actually create more challenges for you because see, even if you buy, it may move up, then actually it will fall down. It will not, it will fizzle out because there are a lot of false breakouts which are happening in the market. We feel that the breakout has happened, but it may actually fizzle out. So what is happening is more of shorts which probably will get covered. After that, it becomes weak and then again the sell-off can come. So from that perspective, market may remain very volatile to negative according to what I see. I had told you last time also, this year is going to be quite difficult because this year we have to, the liquidity is going to get crunched in. There is another big challenge. LIC IPO, they are saying that it's going to happen in this financial year. That means within this March, LIC IPO is going to happen. LIC IPO, once it is going to happen, it is going to drain out every other liquidity which is there. Please understand, already rate hike is happening, already liquidity concern is there. On top of that, if LIC IPO is going to happen, which is supposed to be one of the biggest IPOs, what they are expecting is once it is happening, the market capitalization is going to be comparable with Reliance. So if that is the case, you have can imagine the amount of money it is going to suck into itself. So there is not much money left out in the market for the market to move higher. So there will be a market is going to be very slow. You don't expect some what happened last year, that kind of expectation. If you are having, then you will not be able to make anything this year. This year is going to be very dull. It is going to be very weak. Probably only in the second or third quarter things may actually change. But first 2 quarters, according to me, is going to be more on the downside of things. So liquidity crunch is going to happen. So be very careful. All these are not good for the market. See, when so many IPOs have come, market has been able to go up only because there was enough liquidity in the market. There was huge liquidity. All these FPIs and all, they had put a lot of money. And if by any chance you have put money in IPO stocks, I think you need to cash out. A lot of these stocks are going to come down quite drastically. Okay, now we have time. I can take any of the questions on your stock ideas. Currently, multi-bagger stocks, I think we have done a lot of them. And we will try to wait for some other clarity which is going to happen. Say, then we can probably look at some more ideas. I think I have given you enough multi-bagger stock ideas. So currently, I'm not coming out with any new thing. I'm just waiting for some more clarity in, because this could be a good amount of sell-off which will happen. After that, we need to see which one actually is looking better off. So if you have any questions related to any of your stocks or any other thing, I think I'll be more open to answer your questions. So I'll put this completely on the question answers. Yes, Gopal, what you want to say, you can go ahead and unmute yourself and speak up. What is the
Hello.
question? Yeah.
Yeah, I was not able to unmute. Now I am able to. See this the Tata Power. They're saying that there will be a result announcement on 8th and 9th, and also budget announcing for the EV support. Right? Could there be upside there or?
See, according to me, all those things are already priced in the stock. I don't expect any big movement. I think this is a false breakout which has happened in Tata Power. This structure is not looking good. All this structure is not looking good. See, until unless we are unable to sustain beyond this, it is very difficult for it to go up. If you see, there is a big amount of volume. After that, we are seeing all negative kind of a candles here, which is not looking good. Though it might have gone higher, it is unable to sustain at the higher level, which is not giving me any comfort that this is according to me is more likely to be a false breakout. It needs to sustain beyond this 256 level. Only then there could be some upside, which can be the all-time high. There is a lot of pressure which is already there. See, if you look at this place, according to what I see is it may come back and see the amount of you need to understand one thing that this let us do one thing. See, according to me, it will retest this place 151. It can come back and retest this before any big up move. That is my view. Because see, look at this monthly, it has gone beyond 91 RSI, which is extremely higher. So this year, I have been telling you where stocks have moved up so much. See, if you look at the stock which has moved up, let's come back. See, it's moved up almost from the last 1 year, 1 or 2 years. If you see from somewhere around 35, it has gone to 250. So if you see, this has been a vertical rally. And when that vertical rally has happened, so it's almost like almost 7 to 8 times the stock has moved. Is the results also coming appropriate? That is the main thing. If it is not, it has to actually get into some amount of correction. According to me, at least it should come into this range and try to hold it. But I'm seeing a lot of divergences in the market. I am expecting the market to come down here. See, we are seeing that recent divergence, if I have to tell you, where is it? Okay, see, look at this. This is the high. This is the high. Okay, market has made a new high here, and we have made a new low here. So this is also trying to go back here, but there's nothing big which has happened. So there is a clear divergence which is there in the market. Price has moved higher. It has not been able to do it. So I'm not expecting this to go up. Even if it goes up, I think there will be selling pressure which is going to come in.
Okay, thanks. And I have another question. So last time regarding the Paytm, right? Yeah, it had touched all-time low, and there was a recommendation to buy.
You, until unless it is not going to form a base, don't take. It has to form a base here. Now it is trying to form a base. Let it form a base. So it will get into a sideways zone here, somewhere between 900 to 1000, somewhere in this range, it will come. Look at this. This is what I had told you, 900 to 1000. So now slowly it has started to form a base. Let it form a base. Even now, see, if you are okay with the averaging out, what you can start doing is, if you want to invest, suppose you want to invest say 1 lakh rupees on this, put 25,000 now. If it comes down, you put another 25,000.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
So 900 is my expectation. If it goes below that, it is possible. It is not that it cannot go. But I don't see too much of fall from here. Even if the downside comes, maybe 100, 200 points is the downside. So I think this is a good time for you to get started in accumulating the stocks. If you want to look at this, it's a good stock. There's no doubt. If Warren Buffett is investing in the stock, I think he has done all the fundamental analysis. And you don't have to worry too much.
Okay.
Okay. Anybody else has any other questions, guys? If any of you have any questions, let me know. If there's no question, I think I will quickly wind this session.
Yeah, I have one more question, that's okay. See, there is this micro cap stock Trident, which is making lot of news.
I told you very clearly right now, not the price.
Okay.
It is going to come down.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Trident is going to come. I have given you the level also. It may come to somewhere around 20, 25. That is a place. See, it is going to come down only. Look at this. I've given you the range 20 to 24. This is a place.
Got it.
Currently,
Okay.
it will go down. This is not a place. See, I had told somewhere at this place, 50 rupees range, I had actually told it has gone a little higher, but still there is no strength. It will come down. It has moved up too much. See, this year, all the things which have moved up too much are going to come down. That is a place where if you are, if things are actually, prices are attractive and the stock is doing good, if the fundamentals are good, then you can go ahead and start accumulating those stocks. Don't try to buy at these high prices. All these prices which have gone, whichever stock has gone up too much in the last 1 or 2 years, they will all actually come back. See, right now what is happening? See, when technicals moves, only technical will work. So that is what was happening in the last 2 years. This year is going to be where fundamentals are going to catch up. So if the fundamentals are good, then if value investors will start picking up and start buying, because they are the ones who will have to support the stock market. Liquidity crunch is going to come in. When the liquidity is getting drained off, it is only the value investment which will come in. So that is where this year is going to be where fundamentals is going to catch up. Your technicals may not work that great. See, technicals will always work. See, from the point of view of things, it will work. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is, don't think about the valuations when it is too higher. A lot of sell-off is also going to happen. So value this time, it will be fundamentals which is going to play a bigger role. See, index-wise, it may actually not do a huge correction. Index-wise, it may get into a range, but individual stocks may actually come down quite drastically. All depends on the kind of stock which you are picking. So when it comes to the lower level, you have an opportunity again to buy. So a lot of these stocks may actually get into a range. So it may get into a range, and that range, at the lower end of the range, you can start accumulating the stocks. Yes, guys. Any other questions any of you have, let me know.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Anybody else has any other questions? Or should we try to wind up the session? See, currently, I would not suggest you to do any kind of aggressive buying. There will be a very good scope. If you are having money also, what I suggest is probably you put that in some kind of an RD or FD or somewhere, you park that money. And when things are better off, I think you will get a very good opportunity. And then you can go ahead and invest. So individual stocks may actually get some kind of a thing, but I think when the fall is happening, it doesn't make sense, because even the big companies are also getting into a sell-off mode. If Facebook has, if you look at the US market, Facebook is one alarming thing. Look at the kind of fall which has happened. It's a huge fall. And look at the volume, extraordinary volume of sell-off which has happened. So this is not going to be easy for this to come up. It will take months, years together for this to actually start doing better. Okay. So the kind of sell-off is huge. And look at this, how much fall has happened. It may actually get into a sideways zone. Value investors may come in, but I don't think the downside is over yet in the stock. And if this is the case, this is going to put pressure on all the other stocks also. Though actually not every other stock has got into this challenge, but I think it is going to face this challenge.
But the Facebook sell-off is the people are saying that it's because they spent a lot of money on making it metaverse, and also
Not
most of the
only,
people.
it has been showing a divergence long time back. This is not a new thing. If you
Mm,
see here itself, it was showing a divergence.
mm,
The problem was already there. It is not new. See, this is from last year itself. There is a lot of thing here. The value investors have already started moving out.
mm-hmm.
So, see, no matter what it is, see, ultimately everything boils down to the, what do you say, the results.
Fundamental
If they are
results.
still able to produce good results, everything is great. But what is happening is currently, probably there's something which we don't know. See, it is going to affect other things in the psychological effect also that will happen. It's not only this, even the Netflix has fallen down. Google and all has not fallen much. But if you see Netflix has fallen down, so Netflix has also been one of the big stock. If you have been seeing, they have been doing very well. So look at the kind of fall which has happened these stocks. Huge fall in 1 month. The fall is almost 30%. So overall, if you look at from the peak, it has fallen almost 40, 45, 50%. It's a big sell-off which has happened. See, Google, Amazon, and all are somehow holding on to it. See, if this is happening in the global market, it is, look at this. Google is also coming down. It's not that it is, since it's at the peak, from there it is coming down. It may get into a range. It may not actually have that kind of a similar huge effect which has happened with Facebook, but still everything is going to have its own impact. If you look at Amazon, somehow there is some amount of buying which has happened, but I think this is going to sell off is going to still continue. If you see here, there is a good amount of selling which has happened here. It's not that it's happening everywhere. Every other stock is having this problem. The entire Nasdaq is having a challenge. So if you look at this from 3,700 to 2,700, almost $1,000, if it has come, almost 25-30% it has done. So if it is happening in the US market, it is not that the Indian markets are immune, but yes, to a large extent, Indian market has outperformed the global markets. But still, that is not that it is going to. We have to see how far it is going to continue, because Nasdaq has to. Nasdaq is always a forerunner. It is something which is going to always try to lead the market. So if there's a big buying which will happen, it will start from Nasdaq. If a big selling will happen, it will start from Nasdaq. So people will look at Dow Jones. Dow Jones is still very small. If I have to look at this, it's like our BSE. BSE has 30 stocks. NSE has 50 stocks. And here Dow Jones has 30 stocks and Nasdaq has 100 stocks. S&P 500 has 500 stocks. So there is a lot of difference which happens. Especially the small caps have been beaten off very badly in US. In fact, if I have to tell you, this is completely on the bearish kind of a move, but somehow it is trying to hold on. Will it hold? Will it not hold? That is the question right now. So we have to see. The time is going to tell us, will this start actually getting into some kind of a buying, or from here a bigger selling is going to happen? Will it digest the whole thing? We have to see. Yeah. Any other questions, guys?
Sir, can you share the latest view on idea?
Sorry.
Any latest view on idea? Vodafone idea.
Last week I had actually talked about all the stocks.
Okay, sorry, I was not joined last week, unfortunately.
See, I have told you idea. See, the selling can come here also. See, until unless we are in this main range, I don't see any problem here. See, 6 to 8 was our first initial range. Here, the next bracket is this between the. See, it can be in this range of 9 to 10 rupees range. It can come. It may get into a sideways zone. I don't expect that the market is going to come down drastically. So our stock may not come down drastically, but the sideways thing can always exist. Sideways will always exist, and that is something which is going to act on. So this is our box. Until unless we are not actually going below this box, I don't see any problem here. See, you have to look at this from the 3 to 5 years perspective. 3 to 5 years perspective, if you are having, and if you are ready to withstand, then actually you can invest in idea. Otherwise, no investing. I feel there's no problem. There will be definitely selling which is going to come across the industry when it is coming. Even idea stocks will also be beaten off. There is no doubt on that. But if you look at this, a lot of things and fundamentals are shifting in idea. If you have been noticing, even now government has to refund some amount to idea, which is good. And on top of that, whatever has happened, a lot of money which they had to pay to the government, that is now converted as equity. So which is a good deal for them. They don't have to pay the money. Instead of that, they're paying the equity, which is a good deal. I don't see any problem there. And now what is happening is since government has to pay amount to them, refund. So the equity share also will come down. So which is also very good. All these things, whatever is happening for idea is definitely a positive thing according to me. Like I said, this year fundamentals are going to catch up. So this particular thing I feel is a value investment at this place. Yes, there will be volatility, all those things will keep happening. It takes more time for this to start making some profits and all. So profit is still a distinct future. Currently, they have to protect their losses. They have to ensure that the losses doesn't increase. As long as they do that, that itself is a great thing for them. Now, if you have been noticing, though the subscriber base has reduced a bit, the main advantage what this is happening is not only in idea across the industry. What is happening is the average revenue they are making from each subscriber has been drastically gone higher. If you have been noticing, all your whatever you are paying for the charges, monthly charges have gone up. Have you noticed that? It has actually happened
Yes.
across
Yes, sir.
everywhere. I personally use a lot of things. I was only for a SIM which is there for alternative phone. We were doing a small recharge of 20 rupees, 30 rupees range. Now that itself has gone to 100 rupees. The minimum recharge itself is 100 rupees right now. So,
yes,
so what is happening is their revenue is increasing, which is a very good thing. And now they have actually started doing something. Vodafone is the first company who is doing something into the crypto space, getting into something which can be a huge turnaround for them, because they had recently had auctioned with the very first SMS which was sent, and that was actually auctioned. I think they were making some thousands of crores for that. So we will be probably seeing something completely different thing which is going to happen with idea, because the idea, the way things are actually happening is different, and the whole telecom space is going to be one of the major things. Because see, currently what is happening, like We need water, electricity, food, like that. Without data, we cannot survive. So for data, all these telecom providers are one of the main key area. And this is, if you look at the telecom space, this is the third largest uh, subscriber which they have. Now the only thing is they don't have so much of funds to compete with others. They are in a lot of loss, but that doesn't matter because the parent company has a lot of money. I think they will start funding, and on top of that, I think others will also start investing into this stock. So I see that there can be a good turnaround in the stock. Fundamentally, things are changing. See, when we were talking about that, fundamentals was completely wrong. Everything was bad in the stock. There we were talking about buying. At this place, I think you should be more confident on actually holding on to that. If you are not, actually, you can exit with whatever profits you have made. But if you want to take bigger advantage, you need to have that 3 to 5 years perspective and understand that this, I think there is a gap which has not got filled. Let me see here, 8.9.3. Did it fill? No. Okay, this gap has not got filled. I think it will come and take support here. This gap will get filled. 9.3 to 9.35, there is a gap which has not got filled. It will come and try to fill this gap. And once it fills this gap, then only then it may start trying to move higher. I think this gap has got filled. 1 second. I think there is a gap here also. 10.15. Okay, this has got filled. One second. Oh, this is also not filled. See, there is two gaps here. There is one gap here and there's one gap here. Both of them have not got filled. So first it is going to fill this gap. There are two gap ups which are there, which actually shows a lot of confidence. So there is a possibility it will come and fill this gap, and this whenever this trying to fill this gap from there, there will be buying interest which will start emerging. I don't see any problem in the stock. I would be more interested to accumulate more stock. So it's completely up to you what you want to do. I have given you my view on this. Okay, anybody else has any other questions, or we can be wind up the session? Okay, guys, thank you very much then.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, something you want to say, Srinivas?
No, sorry. I am saying thank you.
Okay, thank you. Somebody else was trying to speak? No? PNB, Vasudevji wants to know about PNB. Let me see about PNB. Okay, 1 second. Sir, this is a reversal thing which is there, and I would not suggest you to be here. See, there was a reversal which had happened here with the gap down. It is actually down. Now, after that, here again, it has done, which is bad. This is also a reversal pattern. I would suggest you not to stay in the stock, not looking good. Apple. If you look at Apple also, okay, this is an IPO stock, right? This is around 2 years back. I have told you about IPO stocks. It has moved up too much. It will actually 188 to almost 10 times it has moved up. You need to ask yourself, if a stock has moved up 10 times, has their results also done 10 times more. If it is not happening currently in this year, fundamentals are going to catch up. Until unless it is going to be at a reasonable valuation, things will be difficult. Because see, whatever buying has happened, it has happened mainly with the FPIs. A lot of foreign portfolio funds have actually invested there. They are taking out money from the market. So don't be in the stock. Vedanta. Vedanta, see, the problem with Vedanta is structure is still weak. See, look at this place. Though it has moved up, we need to see if this is going to sustain, then I think it's okay. If it is not, there is a problem. See, this place, if you see here, huge buying which has happened. So this is very important for me. As long as it's going to stay above this, it's okay. If it can stay above this place, there's something good, because especially the steel stocks have been doing really good in the last 2-3 days after the budget. The steel has suddenly come up. Now we need to see how it is going to sustain this. See, this place is very important for me. 343. As long as it is above 343, it looks good. But if it starts coming down, I think there's a little challenge in the stock. See, overall structure wise, everything is looking okay. Okay, so see, I may say, as long as it is above 343, I think it is okay. I don't see any problem in this. But now, how long will it survive? Will it sustain? That is something which we have to see in the market. I think this is in this range, and until we don't move out of this range, I think it is going to continue to be in this range. So somehow it has done good, which is really commendable. Recently, the big move which has happened is good. It needs to hold above that. If it can hold above that, I think it makes sense, because recently this whole thing has happened when they talked about the demerger. So if that is the case, I think this stock probably is good, as long as it can hold above 345 and it can sustain this. I think it's a good thing, because if demerger is happening and more buying is happening, we also need more volume also start picking up here. If that happens, it will be good. If that doesn't happen, it may actually get into this range and it may not actually do anything big. It may keep moving up, down, up, down, up, down. And only once the breakout happens, then only anything big will happen. Because as I said, the demerger is a good news. And if the demerger is happening and if buying is also happening, you can actually buy and hold this. If you're looking at a longer perspective, yes, Vedanta can be a good buy, especially because demerger is going to unlock a lot of value for you, because you may get shares of the newer thing also. Like this is actually, they have different divisions, so that is getting separated. Like the same thing is happening with ITC also. So the value unlocking will happen. You will get this stock also, you will get that stock also. That is a big value addition. So from that perspective, it definitely makes sense. So either buy on dips or look at what happens. We have to wait and see. Same thing is with ITC. ITC also, the demerger has been announced. And recently, if you see, the move has been good, and the expectation is that this is going to do good. So both of them will be doing something quite good. Okay, guys, any other questions or can we wind off? Yes Bank avoid, sir. As of now, nothing to be done. Yes Bank, probably things are looking good. Things are some of the things are definitely looking good. Some buying is definitely happening, but it is not sufficient for us to think about anything. Overall, definitely there is some amount of buying which is definitely coming in, but still we don't have any clear clarity or a confirmation there. There's definitely a good buying which is started to happen here, but let it happen. This is not the right time and place. As I said, if every other stock is going to be beaten out, this will also be beaten out. It may come down again. At that place, we will see. Reliance Infra. Okay, let's see. Infrastructure stock, that would be mainly because of the budget. Let's look at the overall thing. What is happening with this stock? Okay, this was not in. This overall structure is looking okay. Structure is looking okay. I think this should, but the volume is still not that great. See here, only the selling is happened. Buying, we are not seeing much of a volume. I don't expect any big thing to happen here. I think this is still Anil Ambani stock, right? I don't see any big thing is happening. See, upward movement can happen, Vijay, but I don't expect any big up move or big upside which is there in the market. Market is sell on rallies. That is what I actually see the market at this point of time. If the global market can hold on, then there could be something which can happen. IDFC. IDFC or IDFC First Bank? Okay, let us look at IDFC. Weekly structure is showing some amount of negative pattern. So I would suggest you to avoid. This can be an avoid. See, if at all it can sustain above this, it has to sustain above 168 and start moving higher, then only some kind of a buying can happen here. Otherwise, we are at the resistance area. So this is a very strong resistance area. I don't see much of up move. See, maybe another, see, monthly we are seeing a negative pattern getting emerged. Even in the weekly pattern, daily also I see some amount of negativity only. I feel ideally to avoid. IDFC First Bank. See, the banking stocks are going to face a lot of challenge because the rate hike is going to affect banking like anything. And we have the monetary policy also, which is coming in. So we have to see this. Okay, this is very interesting thing which is happening here. See, if we are actually going to break this 44 rupees, there could be a bigger sell-off which will happen here. I don't see any big, there's no big buying kind of thing which suggests us. See, this has moved up quite a lot from here. From 21, it has moved up almost around 67. 3 times it has gone. So if the results are something at par, then it makes more sense. But otherwise, I think here the sell-off can only happen. I think it is better to avoid. Though actually market at this point of time is very difficult. So better to avoid, don't actually try to get into anything here. Wait for the market to consolidate and sustain. If the value picking is happening, then we can see some of the things. Like what I told you, look at bigger stocks, look at large cap companies. If you have to do anything investment right now, it has to be only the large cap companies. There is the one place where there could be some value which can happen because they are the one who can sustain. Because first, mid caps will, small caps, both of them will be sold off. So avoid. Okay, I think I have covered everything. Anybody else, anything else I have missed out? Any stock I have missed? Anything I have missed? Okay, thank you guys then. See you. Bye-bye. Yeah, good night. Thank you. Bye-bye.